Well, I guess a little drama. I don't know how you would title it. I decided to go and join my Left-Hand Path Paradigm social groups. There was one ran out of a California group. Let's just call them, well, just call them the group. And an old acquaintance of mine, I left his group about a year and a half ago. I just decided, you know, I'm not getting anything out of this, and, you know, more or less a bunch of bullshit coming my way. So I decided I was going to bail. You know, why invest time in something you're not getting anything out of? So there was a huge dissension going on in his group. I figured, you know, I'll join his group and a couple others just to partake and get a feel. And there was like the two groups I signed up for kind of cross over in a way. In other words, one helps moderate the other. So I signed up for two. I've been posting on one, and I post the way I post. I do the screen pics, I do all kinds of stuff because it's about cross-analyzation. You know, whether it be something stupid I've done or something stupid other people has done. You know, you document it and you show it, and then you critique it. You see for yourself what it is. One, what I go through, but also how you see things, you know, from another perspective. But mind you, these groups are highly volatile. I mean, they're it's like a Fight Club persona, or personification, if you would. I mean, people, that basically is almost like what their paradigms turn into, and which is not mine. I'm abrasive and what have you, but when let me tell you something. When the World According to Rev.Ronald French group was made, I haven't edited, censored, deleted any post ever. And Access Sanctuary and Chapels I do, because it has to pertain to a particular structure. You know, I don't care if Mandela died, you know, boom, deleted, that kind of thing. But when it came to this particular site I went to, you know, the guy who my acquaintance there, it became like they had a list of rules, but when I showed up, they added like another 5 or 6 rules. And at that point, it was like, wait a minute, if you don't like the way I format or how I do things, one, I'm the only one doing it, so that makes me a little bit of an innovator. It doesn't take much to do what I was doing, but I was the only one doing it. And secondly, if you go off and start changing the rules as you go, well, if it's not my group, I don't have a say. And quite simply, bye. You know, I've been working on a couple of projects, side projects on the internet, and they might come into fruition sooner or later, regarding my paradigm, because I'm very open. So that means I can not just do a particular spectrum of my paradigm, but I'll do the whole damn thing. So I figure I'll I'll start a mirror group, or I'll start my own group that deals with that, you know. But we'll see. I'm not really, you know, gung-ho on it yet, because it does cost a lot, not a lot of money, but it'll cost about $50 a month if I do it. And if I have enough traffic, I can actually get it for free as a beta tester. So with that said and done, I figure, why not? I'll give it a whirl and see how it works out. But it's not like a retaliation. It's not, you know. It's just that if you join a group and it's counterproductive for you at that point, or you have someone who just doesn't, even if you explain why you posted what you posted and, you know, the reasoning behind it, if they don't get it, they still don't want you to post it. It's censorship, you know? And it's not from the guy who owns the site. It's one of the admin or best friends of his or something, you know? So I'm like, you know what? I'll control my own environment. You know, because why the fuck do you need to go and join a group to begin with? You don't have to join a group. But, you know, but in the same regards, no one has to join a group. People want to. They want to have some type of exposure, some diversity. With my own, outside of my own personal paradigm, with my church's paradigm, well, it's a catch-22. I'm left-hand path, but I'm very open to other other religions, other belief systems. Anyway, that's just my nature. I mean, people around me know that. What I don't like is the social discourse or social culture of the stupidity that I deal with. So, but in a strict left-hand path paradigm, it's equally eclectic. So it's like a double take. So in the left-hand path, you get over 50 types of paradigms, all different. And then, of course, if you deal with the conventional world around you with uncommon and minority belief systems, you'll have the same equal diversity. So, yeah, I mean, after my experience with it, to give you a long story short, I had a little discourse with one of the admins of my acquaintance's site, and on the person's site I'm on, who I didn't post yet, they can tag your photo, and she tagged it pissant. And I thought, I do find it funny, because if someone in a neutral or semi-neutral environment can't deal with little old me and has to be passive-aggressive on their site because they gotta get me somehow, well, that's the kind of mental midget I don't need to be around with, right? Would you want to be with that? I mean, if I had a pissing contest with you, even if I own a site, for instance, and you're part of my group, and I'm, and we're ripping each other's ass, and you handed my ass to me, it would have to be kudos. I may not like it, but it'd be kudos, right? Especially if I'm in the wrong. And but the funny part is when people who feel they're going nowhere, it's a stalemate, or they feel as though they got their ass handed to themselves, and they get passive aggressive and start fucking with you on their site or some other place. Obviously, it shows a huge amount of immaturity on that level. I know I should say, immaturity, but think about it. I mean, if someone goes off and couldn't handle a discourse here, and they'll fuck with you over here because they know they can, well, that's a inferiority complex. It's a lot of different things. I mean, Freud could jump on that shit a lot. And if you're catching on to this conversation, I'm sure you understand where I'm coming from with this. So, the site that person owned, that I had a discourse with, I simply just deleted my account and off I went. Then today, I started looking at the site that I joined with my acquaintance there, and I realized I know why I left the first time. And so it's not a big deal. I don't make a big deal of it. I make a video about it because eventually you'll know enough people where you can create a group that people will come to, do their social thing, and at that point, my focus has always been about learning one another. So when I do a left-hand path one, I have the atheist, the deist, and the theist together to do an exchange, and I did it with heavy rules, because I always had somebody, a COS member, be sitting there going, "Oh, you're all wrong," like a fundamentalist, and it's like, "Nope, you are." Click, and you're done. You're gone. I believe in information exchange. Why you believe something, how you believe something, what do you do, how does it compare and different from the other ones? That kind of shit makes you grow as a person. But if you are there just to have a discourse with, or you don't like subject matter, as my previous grievances with people, they would rather change the content than the channel. And that was a big thing with my acquaintances' site. They would rather want me to change my posts. One or two I did out of courtesy, and maybe they're a little bit right on one comment, but the thing was, why should I be censored? I'm not breaking the rules. I just didn't appeal to to their tastes. That's how I see it, at least. So I think what's going to happen is, I already wrote to the hosting company, about doing a comparative but yet different type of site of a very popular site, and I already have an eclectic group of left-hand path people involved with me already. So all I just have to do is just do what I do best and spread the word about my new site coming up, and go from there. And being that I'm a beta tester for one site, I'll just create a new account and be a beta tester for another site. That's all. But that's the thing. You know, if you can't function or in an environment, or there's an environment that is not applicable for you, change your environment. It's not that bad. It's not that dramatic. Even the person I had discourse with, I did a video about that person, and but it was done with smiles. It wasn't done with a smile and the fuck you, you know, because when you have somebody who's about 8 or 10 years older than you acting like a hormonal 15-year-old, it is comical, you know. So you got some old lady acting like a little chick, and that's all they want to do is, you know, try to change your content. It's time to move on. So that's the thing, and this is the lesson. You know, if you don't like the environments you're in, create your own, whether it be in the real world or in the virtual world, because at that point, boom. Now the problem is a lot of people don't want it because they're going to be alone. Fuck that. Create your own, invite a few friends, and then let it perpetuate. I started the world according to Rev.Ronald French. My first promo, I boasted 9 people within a day. You know, it's been what? A few months. I got about 62 people. And it grows, you know, piece by piece. They see this video. They'll see me on Facebook. They'll see me on YouTube. They'll see me everywhere. And it does perpetuate. But you just have to put the time into it. And then you create your own environment. Holy shit. And sometimes people, like myself included, join well over a bunch of environments. Not because of my church. I market that out to all the 600 groups I belong to. But I actively participate in about 5 to 10% of them. There's some that really stick with me, and I stick with them, you know, and new and old, you know. So, you know, it's just about compatibility, about what works for you, how you sync with people, how you sync with a group, and how you sync with individuals. And you know, as long as you can keep yourself to be yourself. Anytime a person wants to change you, it's time to move on. So again, when I had an old gripe resurface about changing content and methodology of what I do, and not piss and moan about the actual content text of the message, I realized it was more of a superiority complex, or probably even inferiority complex from that person, and at that point, any conversation, comment, or anything else was going to be moot. So I just had to pick my shit up and leave, right? Smart thing to do, I think. You know, of course, you know, adding a few fuck yous in my remarks don't help, I guess, but, you know, hey, whatever works. So, anyways, my experience, my life, may it will help you, benefit you, for whatever reason. Anyways, I wish you all well. Seasons are coming up, and I have a ceremony to perform on the 22nd with an old acquaintance of mine who had passed away. So we're doing kind of like a memorial service and a pagan rising ceremony type thing on his behalf. So that should be interesting too. Side note, sorry for detracting. So anyways, that's what's going on. I'll catch you all later. Bye for now.